recording on webcam. So the news that we all knew was coming has arrived today. Red Bull have announced that Yuki Tsunoda and Liam Lawson will swap seats. Tsunoda gets a promotion to Red Bull Racing while Liam Lawson goes back to the Racing Bulls. Now, when I made my previous video on this subject, basically going over whether Yuki should accept this proposal, this promotion from Red Bull if it does arrive, is it going to be a good thing for his career? I basically said it's a massive risk, but he also probably won't have a say in the matter because of the way that Red Bull's contracts work with their drivers. They are all contracted to Red Bull, even Isaac Hadjar, Liam Lawson, Yuki Tsunoda, so they can be moved around pretty much between the two F1 teams at will. I don't think they have much of a say in the matter. You know, if you're not Max Verstappen, your place is not very assured. And so it is proven yet again. Lawson being dropped after 2 races at the start of the season. 2 races where he never drove on those tracks before. And admittedly, yes, he really struggled. There is zero doubt about that whatsoever. But this, honestly, the incompetence of Red Bull's forward planning when it comes to their drivers is absolutely embarrassing, to say the least. It really is. I mean, like I said, I never thought this would make sense, this move. I thought you had to give Liam Lawson time because he's coming up now to a race in Japan, a race that, you know, he knows the track on, a race where he beat Yuki Tsunoda in the same car a couple years ago in 2025, a track that I believe he's also raced around Super Formula as well in Japan. So, you know, if there was ever a time for him to recover, it was this. And 2 races is not a representative yardstick, I don't think, of the guy's talents. But it screams to a bigger problem, really. And the title of this video is just going to be "This move makes no sense," because it doesn't. You know, this is no disrespect to Yuki Tsunoda whatsoever. I have sung his praises for a very long time now, and I believed that he would have been the better choice to go for Red Bull for the second seat for this year. I said that in the off-season, but all signs pointed towards Liam Lawson getting that seat, who is a much more inexperienced driver than Lawson with half a season under his belt, Tsunoda with 4 seasons under his belt. You know, he was much more experienced and, in my opinion, much more better equipped to potentially tame this beast that is the RB21. But the question that needs to be answered really is, what were Red Bull thinking? What was going on in their heads when they were thinking to promote Lawson? Because all the noise coming out of Red Bull in the off-season was that Pierre Vaca, who is the designer now for Red Bull, the guy who's taken over from Adrian Newey effectively since he's left the team, and even before he left the team, when it was announced that he was going to leave the team, and he was pretty much on gardening leave for that time, you know, he said, well, you know, we're going to make this car more drivable. This car's very difficult to drive. We're going to make its operating window wider effectively. All the noise was saying that. And, you know, it seems like that hasn't happened now. And I've also seen comments as well, and I have to thank one of my loyal subscribers on YouTube, Max. You know, I don't know if your name's actually Max, by the way. I know your username is Max, but it's not Max Verstappen, I don't think. He's from New Zealand, I'm pretty sure, and he's a big Liam Lawson fan, and he always comments on my videos, so thank you so much for your support, man. I really appreciate you, honestly. And he provides a lot of interest and insight on, you know, topics that I cover. And apparently Vaca has completely gone the other way now. He said that, no, we're not going to compromise the pace of this car, the potential pace of the RB21, just to make it easier to drive. So what you've effectively ended up now with is a car that is absolutely driven on a knife edge by Max Verstappen, and he can drive that thing. He can drive that thing to podiums, but even he was kind of showing a bit of restlessness, a bit of annoyance after China. You know, he was kind of saying, well, the car's just not that quick. You know, I'm driving it as well as I can, but it's really difficult to drive. And, you know, I'm struggling here relatively. I can't fight for wins here. And that's why he said going into Melbourne that he had no chance of winning the Grand Prix. He nearly did, actually, in the end, because of the weather kind of playing. But on a dry track, on a relatively chill kind of race, you know, not that many incidents or craziness and chaos theory being thrown in there. Chaos multipliers, I should say, really. You know, it's not going to be a car that's challenging for the win. McLaren are a long way ahead of everybody, not just Red Bull, but, you know, that car is not the fastest. Max Verstappen, I believe, is really pulling off miracles in it. So, really, you know, what has changed in these 2 races? Or what has changed since... Because effectively Lawson and Tsunoda were both in a shootout for the Red Bull seat. in 2025. You know, Tsunoda was in the young drivers test. I think Lawson might have been as well. And I know he has tested the RB20 as it was, or relatively recent Red Bulls, you know, for the team while he was not a full-time driver for, as it was known then, RB, as it's known now, the Racing Bulls. What has changed? What made Red Bull think, you know what, Lawson is better with this car? He's going to prove that he can do this. He's someone who's going to bring success. He's going to be that solid number 2 driver to get those Constructors' Championships back to Milton Keynes. You know, Max Verstappen's going to be out winning races, but Lawson, he's going to be the backup. He's going to be the number 2. He's going to be getting podiums, strong points finishes, and as long as Max keeps winning all the time or keeps getting strong podiums, they're going to be in a shot with the Constructors' Championship. What happened to the assessment of Lawson? How come they thought that Lawson was the guy? Going, clearly he wasn't. And this, by the way, is no slight against Lawson. I am not saying that he's not good enough. I'm just saying that he clearly does not suit that car. That's been proven over the first 2 races. Even if we saw a marked improvement in Japan, you're talking about bottom end of the points. And what now has changed for Tsunoda as well? Clearly they thought, because you would like to think, I mean, this is Red Bull we're talking about, so maybe not, but you would like to think that if you had a choice between 2 drivers, we're not going to name names, we're just going to say 2 drivers, driver A and driver B. And they're relatively similar pace. They set around the same sort of lap times. They keep the car on the track. They're consistent. Their feedback is good. They're a good team player. They know the system of your team inside and out. They've been brought up through the youth academy. They have both gone into the second team, and they've both been competing in the second team for most, or if not all, of the previous season. What would be the differentiating factor between those 2 guys? Around the same kind of pace? You know, what's the big thing? What's the big difference between them? Experience. Yuki Tsunoda and Liam Lawson. Experience. So you would think that there has to be something that they saw in Lawson. I know he's clearly got big potential, as does Tsunoda. How young Tsunoda is. Tsunoda's like, what, 25? He's in the 5th season of Formula 1, but he's still a young driver. He's still got big potential. And I really hope he does well. I wish him all the best. I hope he has a fantastic race in Japan. I hope he gets a podium in his home race. Imagine that. But is he going to be able to do that? Well, clearly they thought there was something wrong with Tsunoda, or that he wasn't right enough anyway in the off-season to promote him. Clearly they thought he's not the guy. Marco has said that Tsunoda is unstable, basically. He's not mentally, strong enough to warrant a promotion. He's pretty much said that. And I know Marco says a lot of stuff. He says a lot of crap. Let's be honest here. But he still said that publicly. So he probably believes it. And if he doesn't believe it, why is he going and saying that? That's really not a very nice thing to say about one of your drivers. I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe the car just suits Tsunoda more. Maybe he is more able to tame the beast that is the RB21 than Tsunoda. You would like to think so. Maybe they've discovered something in how he's performed this season in the RB. Maybe they've discovered something in the testing and the simulator work. We don't know. We're not privy to all that information. But what has changed? What is going to be different? And look, I will happily sit here and I will eat my words. I will eat my words if I'm wrong, but the problem with Red Bull Racing has been the second seat. Ever since Daniel Ricciardo left. Pierre Gasly got there in 2019, lasted half a season. Alex Albon got there after that, 1.5 seasons, sacked. Perez, he lasted for 4 seasons, but he was sacked. They paid him a gargantuan amount of money to not drive for them. Lawson goes in, 2 races, sacked, demoted. How is this going to be different? Red Bull, honestly, I've called it the Red Bull meat grinder. I'm sticking by that. Absolutely. But yeah, I have gone on about this for nearly 10 minutes now. I just want to go over, though, right at the end of this video, I'm going to go on an F1 Chronicle article, just because there are some quotes on here. And I've been out most of the morning, I've been driving around, I've been hearing some of these quotes on the radio. I think they're laughable, to be honest. But the ones from Christian Horner, anyway. I'm not sure what Mekis has said at RB. I've not heard that yet, but let me just go through this. So, Christian Horner said the following about this. It has been difficult to see Liam struggle with the RB21 at the first 2 races, and as a result, we have collectively taken the decision to make an early switch. We came into the 2025 season with 2 ambitions: to retain the World Drivers' Championship and reclaim the World Constructors' title, and this is purely a sporting decision. We acknowledge there is a lot of work to be done with the RB21, and Yuki's experience will prove highly beneficial in helping to develop the current car. We welcome him to the team and are looking forward to seeing him behind the wheel of the RB21. We have a duty of care to protect and develop Liam, and together we see that after such a difficult start, it makes more sense to act quickly so that Liam can get some experience as he continues his F1 career with these Red Bull Racing Bulls, I should say, an environment and a team he knows very well. I mean, Verstappen has even said as well that he thinks that Lawson will do better in the RB than what he did in the Red Bull. I mean, it's not hard to do better because he's been at the back pretty much in both races, but I echo that sentiment. The RB is probably a lot easier car to drive, but my goodness me, how is Tsunoda going to be able to do this? I mean, look, if he's able to do it and he goes fast, like I said, I will eat my words happily, right? And I hope he does well, and I wish him all the best success, but the incompetence of Red Bull with their driver choices, there is no doubt they made the wrong one when it came to promoting Lawson. Too much too soon. He's not experienced enough to be able to get on top of that car, clearly. Team principal of Racing Bulls also said this, Lauren Mekes. We're incredibly proud of Yuki earning his well-deserved move to Oracle Red Bull Racing. His progress last year, and more recently from the very start of 2025, has been nothing less than sensational. Personally and collectively, it has been an immense privilege to witness those progresses for all of us in Faenza and in Milton Keynes. Yuki's energy and positivity has lightened up every corner of our factories and of our garage, and he will be always a Racing Bull. We wish him all the success he deserves. ORBR Red Bull to me and you. And everybody here at VCarb is looking forward to working hard with Liam to get him the best environment possible to shine in our car and express the talent we all know that he has. He fit in so well last year, and we cannot wait to challenge ourselves and grow as a team. With Isaac having started so strongly with us already, we already know that we have a young and strong lineup. They do. They absolutely do. I like Agile. I think he's a good driver. Maybe it's the right decision to put Tsunoda in there, but we'll see, guys. I mean, like I said, I've gone on about this for a long time now. Get your thoughts in the comments below. It's shocking after 2 races. I mean, even people will say, oh, are you not surprised? Are you surprised at this? Red Bull are always doing this. They are, but not like this. 2 races. Has anybody ever been sacked from a Formula 1 team after 2 races? I might do a video about that. My good friend James, who also makes a lot of content here on Formula Reports and Motorsport Reports as well, our sister channel. You know, he has come up with a video idea to do that. I might do that actually. Because I reckon Lawson has to be next the man 2 races. I know he's not been fired from Red Bull. He's still a Red Bull athlete. He's still a Red Bull driver, just driving for the second team now. But goodness me, man. You know what? One thing I've not mentioned, I hope Lawson's okay. I hope he does well now he's back at the Racing Bulls. For what it's worth, I think he will. But I fear for Tsunoda, man. I really fear for Tsunoda. Your thoughts in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe as always, guys. Have a fantastic day ahead. And yeah, Japan in just over a week. In his home race, Yuki Tsunoda making his Japanese Grand Prix, his Red Bull Racing debut, I should say. It has a fairy tale feel to it, but it could quite easily become a nightmare. It really could be a bad one for him. I hope I'm wrong. I really do, but see you soon, guys. That's all I have to say. Just a big old sigh. That's my thoughts on Red Bull.